Yo, what is good, you darkaholics? Welcome back to the dark side of life, where I will be telling you some very dark stories. So, let's just get into it. This is easily one of, if not, the saddest, most distressing story that I've ever told on my channel. It involves a young child and is absolutely terrifying. With that being said, I just want to make it clear that viewer discretion is advised. I myself grew up with dogs and have always loved them, and that's why this research made me start questioning life. There is a large number of people, which I was in that group, that believe pit bulls can lock their jaws. The fact is, that's not true. In fact, they have no special locking mechanism, and this infamous ability to lock their jaws has been disproven. It's been laid out by many different articles and experts, but I'm referring to a book written by an award-winning journalist named Bronwyn Dickey. After spending 7 long years researching the topic and speaking to countless different experts, she gives us an insightful view on the subject. In her book that's called Pitbull, The Battle Over an American Icon, she talks about the many misconceptions of the breed. Pit bulls are often linked with fighting, being aggressive, and or just downright scary. She talks about why they shouldn't be, and how breed bans actually do nothing to help reduce the number of dog bites annually, saying that holding owners accountable is a much more effective approach to the matter. When you talk about pit bulls, you will often encounter people on either side of the argument. Regardless of the misconceptions, I do believe that it's all in how an owner raises and trains their dog, how they handle them, and so forth. There will always be an argument to pit bulls being dangerous, and this is why. This is fucked up and shows the true dangers that dogs carry when left in negligent, incompetent hands. A first grader attending the Woodlawn Elementary School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 7-year-old Sadie Davila was seriously special, and there is no shortage to the impact she made on those that were lucky enough to meet her. She was an amazing little girl who was not afraid to be herself in any situation. Her personality was beautiful and flourishing as she grew. The principal of her elementary school, Vanessa Bloom, as quoted by the WLBT, said she had a light inside of her that could not be contained. She has these huge brown doe eyes that just make you smile whenever you see her. I'll quote one more teacher who felt absolutely blessed to know Sadie, that being her music and drama teacher for the past 2 years, Grace Foyt, who got to know Sadie pretty well and fell in love with her and her personality. She stated, Sadie was fierce and spunky, but she was also tender-hearted and kind. She brought energy and joy into my class every single time she stepped in the door. She was fearless and would sing her heart out in front of her classmates. Her parents were extremely proud of her and proud to be her parents. They loved their daughter dearly and were often taking different, silly, but awesome pictures together. Like I said, there is no shortage to the impact that Sadie had on everyone around her. She was truly a blessing to this world, and that's why the way she was killed sent shockwaves through the entire community and a lot of people around the country. On Friday, January 6th, 2023, Sadie was at her family's house with her grandmother and a few other people. At roughly 6:30 p.m. that evening, Sadie was busy playing one of her favorite games to play, called Fashion Show. This is a game that Sadie would always play, which consisted of her getting dressed up in different dresses or certain outfits. Then, once she was dressed and ready for her show, she would exit the home using the side door and then make her way around the house to the front door, which she would walk into using as her runway. Her family, of course, was her audience. At 6:30 p.m. that evening, during this game, she got ready and then was prepared to do her fashion show. So she exited out the side door, as she normally did, and then started making her way around the house to the front door. Once she was in the front yard, From a house about 150 yards away, a vicious, maybe 80-pound pit bull is barreling towards Sadie just as she got into the front yard. She's only a small 7-year-old girl, obviously unable to defend herself or get away from the situation quick enough. Immediately, Sadie was grabbed by the dog. She let out a blood-curdling scream that, along with the sound of the dog trying to kill her, let the family know what was going on outside. A relative would instantly jump into action and rush to her side with a walking cane and starts hitting the dog as hard as they can, trying to get it off of Sadie. During this time, someone would call 911, which animal control, EMS, the fire department, and law enforcement would respond to help out. Meanwhile, this relative is still striking the dog over and over again as it is locked on to Sadie's face. But the dog could not be deterred, no matter how hard they struck the animal. Now, this isn't stated specifically anywhere, so it's my best guess that this one person striking the dog wasn't enough to stop the attack. However, once more adults came screaming and/or law enforcement showed up, the noise level and threat would eventually scare the dog, who ran off into the dark. Animal control would follow the dog, trying to capture the threat to their community, and at the same time, Sadie was rushed to the nearest children's hospital, gravely wounded, fighting for her life. Officers would find what they are calling a substantial amount of blood in the area that Sadie was attacked. It was brutal. It took animal control roughly an hour to locate the dog and capture it. When they did, its face and mouth was still covered in blood from the attack. Officers would fairly quickly locate the owner, who said he wasn't home during the attack. Then they learned that he had no fence or any restraints in place for his dog. After they had arrested him, he goes on to tell authorities that he lets his dog freely roam the neighborhood all the time. Fucking ridiculous. Hours after arriving at the hospital, 7-year-old Sadie Davila would succumb to the injuries that she suffered during the attack. She had numerous dog bites to her face and her skull, which she was just unable to recover from. I can't fucking believe that this is a story I'm sharing with you, and my sincerest condolences go out to her family and loved ones. When the autopsy was done, it revealed that Sadie had died from multiple sharp and blunt force injuries to her skull. Such a sweetheart, a blessing to our world, taken in one of the most violent ways possible. I wish this wasn't real. Sadie was so happy and loving. Her family is devastated, and her mother Haley is demanding justice for her daughter. The owner of the pit bull, 20-year-old Eric Lopez, was charged with negligent homicide and given a $7,500 bond, which it's reported he did bond out just days after. I hope to God he is convicted on this charge and given a good sentence. As heartbreaking as this story is, it made me equally as pissed off at such an owner and his carelessness. The less time I spend talking about this idiot, the better. Sadie's parents miss their daughter dearly and still don't know why or how something like this could have happened. The entire community was shaken by this, and especially the Woodlawn Elementary School. They are missing the huge presence that Sadie was. Her smile, singing, and her bright soul is irreplaceable, and there's no doubt that they will be feeling this for a while. All of her teachers who adored her, along with the principal, would write out their condolences to the family, remembering Sadie for the amazing little girl that she was, and how much she genuinely impacted everyone that she knew. The police department as well would put out a statement regarding the family and sending them prayers. It's blatantly obvious to anyone that looks at this story that it's a horrible situation that never should have occurred. Her mother would say there's just no words to explain this feeling that they are feeling, and understandably so. I hope this dude gets the maximum sentence, learns a valuable lesson, and is never able to own a dog again. His lack of understanding animals, combined with his carelessness, not having any restraints for his dog, ended in a terrifying mauling, causing a family to lose their beautiful 7-year-old daughter Sadie. That's unforgivable as a dog owner in my eyes. One thing that really irritated me was seeing a news channel talk about the dog and how sweet she actually was, featuring videos of the dog being nice, which it obviously doesn't matter when that video was probably taken at their house with their owner. The dog was euthanized the same day as the attack. Sadie deserves every single minute of light shed on her story, so this can occur less. So regardless of your stance on the breed, and regardless of my stance on the breed, they obviously and always will pose a serious threat when given to the wrong people. And according to research, it's more effective to hold dog owners accountable for their actions and misconduct. And that's what we need here: justice. I'm going to end this video with the quotes put out by both of her parents following this unbelievable tragedy. Her father, Mikey Davila, put out a statement saying, "Rest in peace, my sweet Sadie Elizabeth, 7 years old and taken from us in the most violent way. The world is a cruel place. You are the light in my heart." Her mother, Haley Anselmo, also took to social media to say, "My baby, she is only 7 years old, my mini-me, the light in my heart. Words don't exist for what this feeling is. My family is shattered. Please pray for us. Pray that they press charges on the dog's owner and hold them responsible." All we can do now is pray that they see justice for their daughter. Rest in peace to 7-year-old Sadie Davila. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you made it to the end, go down to the comment section and comment "unforgivable" so I know. And if you enjoyed today's episode and you want to join the team, you know what to do. If you want to, you can follow me on Instagram at Robert Clausen with 2 N's. If you have a story suggestion, DM me on there. I think that's all I got for you guys today. Again, I truly appreciate your support. Until the next video, peace.